All righty. Time to go live. Time to hang with all you cool cats and kitties. And I'm just coming out and rambling. Basically, it's the Daily Ramble. And today I want to talk about a topic that I mentioned I would cover yesterday. If you haven't met me before, my name's Diane Hockman. I've been in the home business industry for 22 long years. It's been 22 years now. I've been in the industry for 22 years, done all kinds of different things. Oh, I didn't realize I got brand new flowers. Um, these are the new flowers, and they're beautiful. Friend sent them. And I took the old flowers, which were dying, and I put them over there. And now I have the lovely background of dead flowers because I'm classy like that. So anyway, I've been in the industry for 22 years, and I've kind of been up and down and all around and in and out, and done every kind of little different facet of the game. And I was challenged by somebody to come out and share on a daily basis for 7 days. And who knows, maybe we'll get into the Daily Ramble. Let's see. We had a really good crowd yesterday. Looks like today most people are out doing something, and that's cool. I want to talk about the topic is the Golden Girls or God. And I'm going to dedicate this video to my friend David, who is, well, he's fighting for his life right now. So not too long ago, I went to an event and got a little. I am vaccinated, and let's not get into the whole topic because everybody has feelings about it. And I think everybody should do what they feel is right for themselves. Um, and I thought I was cool. Oh, no wonder why we're not having a problem because it says it's not streaming to Facebook. I don't know my phone here. Let's see what's going on. Well, well, I don't know what to do then. I'll just keep talking, and if you guys are enjoying it, great. And if not, I'll replay it or I'll redo it. Yeah, it says exclamation point Facebook not working. That's okay. So anyway, I went to an event, and I think I was, feeling kind of, superhuman. I was vaccinated. Time had passed, and didn't think much about it. Small marketing event, and then we were live streaming, and I got sick. I got COVID. Yeah, the other Facebook's not working. I'm streaming this to a couple places, Catherine. Thank you. So I got COVID, right? And the only reason why I knew I got COVID was because I started to hear that every other people from the event had gotten COVID. So I didn't feel good. Figured it was like my after event cold or something, no big deal. Then I heard COVID, so I went and got tested. They stuck the Q-tip up my nose and came back positive. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll go home. I'll isolate, whatever. And then a couple days later, I couldn't breathe. So you know, I had to go to the hospital, and it was scary. And I've done a couple of talks about this, and the talk isn't about going to the hospital. It's what happened in the hospital. So my oxygen was in the 50s, which is really, really bad. And they took me down the hall, and they were putting oxygen on me, and they were, checking everything and poking every part of me and taking blood and making me pee pee in a cup and all the other stuff to see, what was going on. And I was basically told, I was going to be tubed by the end of the night, probably. And it was scary. And I had to reach out to my daughter and tell her what was going on. And of course, my daughter has been the COVID police. And rightfully so. She is immune compromised. She has a particular condition. So she's been very careful and wanted us all to be very careful. So I had to tell her, and I felt terrible because, I went and got it. And doctor after doctor came in and informing me what would happen in the event they had to intubate me, and that I would be, they would relax me so it wouldn't be so bad. And they just kept telling me basically what was going to happen. And it was scary. And then they went back and forth about, admitting me and all this stuff. and they admitted me to the ICU, and I was rolled upstairs. This was after hours in the ER. I was rolled upstairs and, came in, met my male nurse, which kind of freaked me out. And they put me in a gown and all that other good stuff. And I realized then that I had not brought a charger, phone charger to the hospital. I didn't have a cord to plug it in. I didn't have a charger, and my phone died. Now, I don't know about you, but my phone is my lifeline. My phone is everything. And I think it's true for many of you. So I was kind of freaking out. Now, I had a regular phone from the hospital, but I realized that I didn't know everybody's phone numbers anymore. I knew my older daughter's phone number. I knew my parents' phone number. And I didn't want to worry my parents. I didn't know my best friend's phone number. Believe it or not, I didn't know my other daughter's phone number because she had a new phone. And so I had to work through my older daughter getting a hold of people for me and all this other stuff. And remember, I have oxygen on my face. I can't talk really. So there I am. I'm in a room, in an ICU room. So it's almost like being in a bubble because there's a huge window so they can look at your monitors and all this other stuff. And nobody can come in the room without putting on one, two masks, because they had to have a K95 or whatever they're called, and then another mask on top of it. And then they had, because the 95s you wear throughout the day, and then they put another mask on top and a face shield and a gown and shoe covers and whatever else they had to do. So they weren't coming in and out unless there was something to be done. Unless my monitors went off or they had to give me an IV or they were taking, yes, Ray, you did. They were doing something to me, taking my blood. I was alone. And there I was, can't breathe very well. Nobody can come in except for when Ray snuck in a couple days later, but that's a whole nother story. I can't make calls. And they give you the remote control for the TV. It has a speaker and you're trying to hold it by your ear and flipping through the channels and there's just nothing on. And I haven't watched like regular TV and I don't know how long. So I wasn't used to commercials because I generally watch YouTube and Netflix or whatever, HBO Max, and only once in a while, Saturday night or something. So I'm there and every commercial is for a drug. And I'm in the hospital and everything's about a drug. And I'm just like, I'm losing it. And the Golden Girls was on. There was like nothing on and the Golden Girls. And I haven't really watched the Golden Girls. I can't really tell you that I know the show. I mean, I know the characters, and it's so bad. It's just so bad. And I'm flipping through the channels and there's like nothing. And it's commercial after commercial about your diabetes and your heart attack and your this and your that and all the drugs. And you should ask your doctor for this drug and all this stuff. And you might have oily discharge and you might have this and you might drop dead and you might this and that. And I turned off the TV because the choice was the Golden Girls or God. Now, this isn't a religious talk by any means because I have no intention of talking to you about whether you should get a vaccine or not. And I have no intention of talking to you about how you should think about God, the universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it. If you don't like it, whatever. But when you're alone, when you're really alone, and you can't make a call and you can't get on Facebook and you can't watch YouTube videos to numb yourself and keep yourself busy, and you can't watch Bugs Bunny cartoons, and the only thing that's on TV is so bad that you can't handle it. And you think you might have a tube down your throat in a couple of hours. It's probably the time to get quiet, you know? And during that time in the hospital, I was never so lonely. I love Bugs Bunny too, Shannon. It's my favorite. I grew up on him. But I couldn't watch any Bugs Bunny. And during that time in the hospital, all of the speaking engagements and all of the events and all of the awards and all of the cars that they gave me and the tiaras. Some of you guys know me from back when they used to give me tiaras at events and stuff. All of that, none of that mattered. And the people that I love and that love me couldn't come in. They weren't allowed in. Nobody could get there. My mom and dad couldn't drive to me, and I'm going to be 55 years old in the spring. I'm not like a little kid. They can't get around like that anymore. And my daughter's immune compromised. She couldn't come. The other daughter had literally just moved to New York and started a new job, and I wasn't going to try to get her to come. And why would they come? They'd come if I asked them, what are they going to do? Sit in the waiting room because they couldn't come in. And I was alone. Hey, Jeanette. And I chose God that day. I chose me that day because I knew I was in trouble. And I mentioned my friend David's in a lot of trouble right now. And there's Sue that just came on, and Sue went through the same thing. She was at the same event, and Sue is still, she told me, sorry if I reveal something, but I don't think it's too private. Sue got to go to the supermarket the other day for the first time since she had been sick. And what a treat it was. And I had a discussion with her last night. Ironic that you just popped on, Sue. That when you go through an experience like that just everything's stripped away. I mean, I didn't even have an outfit. I didn't have jewelry. I had nothing, nobody cared about your handbag, nothing. It was, you're in a hospital gown by yourself in the dark. Yes, I could have turned on the lights. And there's nobody around because there's no nurses station right there. And there's nobody around. Like every once in a while you'd see someone walk by, but generally speaking, you're all alone. It's time to go deep inside. And it was a time where I looked at me, and I have grown so much over the years, and I've done so much, and I've achieved so much. And yet deep down inside, I hadn't found my real happiness, I hadn't found me. And my friend Ray, who's on here now, he's been helping me with some of that. He's a master hypnotist, and he's helped me with a lot of that. And by the way, he snuck into the hospital a couple days later with my charger and my laptop and my stuff. He brought me a brush. My hair I was like starting to get what do you call them? The dreadlocks, because I hadn't brushed my hair in so long, and etc. And he snuck in, and he just came in the room, and I was like, you can't do that. And he goes, I can do whatever I want. And I'm like, you're going to get COVID. And he's like, I'd had it already. And the nurse yelled at him, and it was pretty fun. But you just look and you go, what do I really want? And who do I want to be? And how much time do I have left to make an impact? And what means something, what means something to me? And I work with people in the industry, and they put themselves into so much agony over the business stuff, the stuff that, they tell you to get you to move, to get you to sell, to get you to, use that product, to all of that stuff. None of it matters. None of it matters. If you're working on a home business, make that home business because you want freedom or flexibility, or you want to be like with me, I wanted to be with my babies, or maybe you want to be with your parents, or maybe you want to move, or maybe you want to do something that brings more joy to your heart, that means something to you. Don't let it be about money. Learn to make money, right? I always talk about that, the fine art of making money. Learn to attract money, learn all those things. But don't let it be about somebody telling you have to be a rank. Don't let it be about somebody, you sell the cows, right, Sue? Yeah. Don't let it be about, any of the stuff that they tell you it's about a big house or a big this, because when you're sitting alone in the hospitals and it's Golden Girls or God, None of that matters. It wouldn't matter when you can't breathe. Sue knows. When you can't breathe, everything you thought was important becomes so incredibly not important anymore. Going to the supermarket, going to have a nice meal, going to be with somebody you love, being who you are instead of trying to edit yourself or change yourself or fit into a die cast mold, a scripted existence. It's not real. It's not real. None of it's real. You know what's real? You, your heart, your message, your caring for others, your content. You know why I create content? I create content to lay down my word, to sing my song, to leave behind a legacy. If I didn't make it out of that hospital, there's years worth of videos that people could watch and my grandchildren could see about who I was and what I had to say. And if I didn't make it out of that hospital, there's thousands of letters that I wrote to people to help them with their business because I cared. And if I didn't make it out of that hospital, there was thousands of pictures of me hugging people and encouraging them and telling them that it's possible for them. Now, the good news is I turned off the Golden Girls. I went inside. I figured out I'm not alone. And Ray wrote, "You're never alone." And my life changed. And I get another shot, another chance to go out and speak into the souls of people that long to be free. And I'm not talking about free from the tyranny of the government and all the stuff that everybody's talking about. I'm talking about free from ourselves, from this bondage that we put ourselves in our minds that isn't real. And maybe I hope that, you know, I hope that you don't go through the experience of not being able to breathe. I hope you don't. Um, and I hope you don't go through the experience that my friend David is going through right now. I hope that you have the chance. See, Dr. Lisa just came on. Dr. Lisa landed in the hospital not so long ago, a couple years ago, from a health condition. I don't know that it was something where you couldn't breathe, but I know that she got shooken up and her life changed. I watched her change. And then she turned around and she decided to help everybody else with what she was learning and sow into other people instead of keep it to herself, be selfish, or go back to the things that were killing her. What's killing you? Whether it's your body and something's killing your body, or what's killing your spirit. And how important is that thing? Do you need to hang on to it? And that's what I learned. Golden Girls are God. I turned off the TV. I turned on spirit. And I put down a lot of stuff over the last month. And I continue to put down stuff. I've eliminated things from my home. I've eliminated things from my diet. I've eliminated things from my thought processes. I'm just putting it all down. I've eliminated people from my lists that aren't really interested in what I'm doing. I've eliminated people from my Facebook that aren't really connecting with me and vibing with me. I've eliminated chronic thought processes that I've had for year after year after year, self-criticism, self-doubt, self-loathing. Yeah, the guru, the top affiliate had self-loathing too, just like so many others. Please don't have to go through the experience of not being able to breathe to have the realization that you have so much to say and so much to give and so much to share and that you're beautiful. And please learn that you don't need somebody else to tell you. You can tell yourself. And you can hang out with other people that tell themselves and then tell each other. Why not tell someone today? Why not let someone know just how stunningly beautiful they are? And I'm not talking about their hairdo and their lipstick. I'm talking about, you see, look, see, I like Ray laughs at me because I talk about my gray hair coming in this side. It's all coming in now, my wisdom hair, right? And I sit there and I go back and forth. Should I dye it? Do I look right? Do I look this? And then I sit and I smile and I go, that's my wisdom. And this is my mid 50s. And before I know it, I'll be in my mid 60s. And before I know it, I'll be in my mid 70s and God willing, 80s and maybe even 90s. Who knows? I have family that have lived into their 90s, a lot of family that made it into their 80s. So let's see what goes on. But don't wait until you can't breathe to send someone a note that tells them they're awesome or tells them that you love them, because as I was taught by my teacher, what you give away, you get to keep. So when I turned off the Golden Girls and I turned on God, I made an agreement. And I'm being very personal with you now. There's only a handful of us here. So nobody ever comes when you write something like that. If I wrote the 7 tips to make $7,000 in 2 days, or the ways to attract endless leads, we'd have 100 people on. But you say something about God or love or beauty. Nobody wants to talk about that. My Deep Abyss Mastermind, everybody signs up, but they don't come because they don't want to talk about the shit that is real. Everybody wants to talk about the illusion of getting rich, being fancy, living on a yacht. I live by a lake and I have a blow up boat. All right. Except my pump's broken. So I can't even blow up my boat and float around the lake. It's getting chilly out. So I don't know. So don't wait to not be able to breathe. The agreement I made was that if I make it through, I will be a vessel, that I will let go of all these things I've clinged to all these years because I was so afraid. I can't believe I'm doing this in public. It's just coming out of me. I would let go of all these things that I've been clinging to comfort me through my journey of learning that I'm okay. I'm a good kid. And let go of things that were killing my body, killing my health, killing my soul, and cling to the things that are meaningful and share the good news of all the things that I know are special. Monica just mentioned she's on the road to Texas and she fell back in love with Jim Rohn's CDs. What you guys may not know, and if you don't know Jim Rohn, he's passed away now. I think in 2000. Oh, I forget what year it was. 2011, maybe before that, 2009. Jim was a business philosopher, and you can go find him over on YouTube, and there's lots of tapes and stuff of him around. Changed my life. But what you may not know, and I know because I got to spend a lot of time with him, Jim Rohn was a biblical scholar. He actually preached a Sunday morning for us when we were at an event in Jamaica and we couldn't get to services. And quite frankly, I don't go to church. Ooh, she's talking about God. She shouldn't go to church. I don't. Now everybody's going to try to help me. I don't need help. But I went to hear Jim. Okay. And if I could find somebody that I really could, I could hear that pure beauty of spirit, I'd go listen to them on a Sunday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday night. Doesn't matter what day of the week it is. What matters is that there's somebody that's pure of spirit, and there's so much dogma and baloney. I like mine direct. Okay. Jim Rohn was a biblical scholar. But what Jim figured out is that if he delivered these eternal messages in code, in business format, one, he made a beautiful living. And two, he was turning us all on to these eternal messages without us realizing it. It was like he snuck the broccoli into the meatloaf, or into the mom stick broccoli inside of the meatballs, and the kids don't know. That's what he was doing. He was giving us church inside of our business lesson, because we wanted to make money. We wanted to make money, so he stuck it in there. And you know what? On my darkest days, back a couple years ago, I sat on the couch in all of November 2016. And all I kept saying to myself, because Jim taught me, is winter must come. Winter must come. There has to be a dark day. There's always a dark day. I did it in the hospital too. Winter must come. But if you can make it through winter, if you plan for winter, if you understand, what will happen is spring will come. Spring must come. Spring always comes after winter. And when spring comes, what do? We till the soil, and then we sow. We sow, we sow, we sow. And we reap, and life is beautiful. And we reap love and the produce of our labor, which is income, etc., and relationships. And then guess what? A couple weeks ago, winter came. I was all happy. I went to an event. I was jacked up. I was going to be with the rock stars, and we were all going to take pictures. And I had this whole plan. I wrote it in my journal that I was going to reinvigorate everything after COVID, because I was going to go and be with John and Nadia and Jessica. And I'm going to get all these pictures. And then they put me on the stage, and I had video of me on the stage, and I was going to crank everything back up. And then God said, no, let's have you sit down for a little bit. In fact, let's have you lay down for a little bit. In fact, let's remind you of the value of a breath before you start jumping up and down and go into a place that maybe you just don't belong. Maybe you just don't belong. Maybe that part of your life was good and it taught you a lot of lessons, but maybe there's something more. Right? Is there a part of your life that was good or maybe bad that taught you a lot of lessons? And then what is there out there that's more for you? More. What are the words you're supposed to speak into what? It doesn't matter whether you're speaking to a lot of people, 10 people like I am right now, right? Or whether you're speaking to a huge, talk about Jim. I've never seen anybody. I go see him. I've spent time with him, right next to him, one-on-one, small dinner of 8 people, but I've also seen him many, many times in a huge arena like the Georgia Dome. You guys heard of the Georgia Dome? I've never seen somebody who could silence 30,000 people just by the way they stood there, like Jim Rohn could. And it wasn't because Jim thought he was such a big deal. I want you guys to get this. Jim didn't think he was a big deal. Jim thought that the message that he was anointed to deliver was a big deal. Think about that. I don't think I'm a big deal, but I think that numerous teachers gave me a message, and I'm supposed to give the message the best I can, and I forgot to give the message for a little while. My friend Stephanie, I'll tag her, Stephanie Fincher, reminds me of that. Stephanie goes, I like when you do the other stuff. Yeah, we could talk about how to generate a lead, but I like when you do the other stuff. She reminds me of my assignment to share this stuff with everybody. Sue, you have a gift. I want you to get better, completely better. I know you're in good spirits. I want you to get better so we can go out and roar. I don't know who else wants to roar with us. We're going to roar. Yes, I love the home business industry, and I love all of the different companies that become vehicles for us to make an income, a right income, so that we can be home and doing these things that we're supposed to be doing. That's the way I always looked at it. There's things I'm supposed to be doing, and then the business let me do the things I'm supposed to be doing. The problem is when the business becomes all consuming. Jeanette, you gotta roar, girl. Your story is so big and you still haven't told it. You have to roar. And when I say roar, guys, it's tell you, sure, I don't care if you're quiet. I don't care if you're loud. I got a big mouth. Maybe you're a little quieter. Maybe you want to do it on camera. Maybe you need to do it on audio. Maybe you need to do it in writing. What do you have to share? What do you have to say? Do you really want to spend the rest of your career saying the same thing as everybody else? Happy Tuesday. And I'm sorry if anybody likes to write Happy Tuesday, but it's just this like thing that everybody's like, people are like posting because I'm supposed to post. I'm commenting because I'm supposed to comment. I'm going out and I'm trying to find people. Who are you trying to find? What if you decided that people are supposed to find you? What if you decided that you're supposed to speak and people are supposed to find you? And what if you decided you're supposed to tell your story, the things you know, the things you believe in, the things you read just yesterday? That sounded like Jim. Yesterday, that's a very Jim Rohn thing, right? What if you decided you're supposed to share something that you've learned, share something that your heart knows, share something that means something to you, share something that scares you? And then people started to find you, and then you just said to them, hey, I like to work from home, this is what I'm doing so that I can do that. And then they checked it out, because my teacher told me that people will pay to be your friend, people will pay to breathe your air, people will come around when you decide to step up onto the soapbox and share your story. People will show up. People, places, and things will show up to guide you, direct you, to take you to the next level where you need to go. In my case, it was the Golden Girls, the Golden Girls. And what's B. Arthur's name on there? Madge? No, what's her name on there? What's B. Arthur's name on the Golden Girls? I don't know. Which Golden Girl would you be? It's like Sex in the City, except it's like old ladies, except I realize now that I'm the age. This is the hard part. You sit and watch the Golden Girls in the hospital for long enough, you start to realize you are the age of the Golden Girls. They're all divorced or widowed, and they're in their 50s. Dorothy, thank you. It's my mother's name. Why didn't I know that? You start to realize, wait a minute, I'm Dorothy. I'm Dorothy. That's crazy. Now, I'm certainly not the one that likes to go out with all the boys, because I don't know, I'm shy. And I'm not the one that always wants to talk about St. Olaf's or whatever it is up in Minnesota or wherever she's from. I'm definitely Dorothy, the one that has too much to say. And you sit there and you go, all right, I'm 54 years old and I'm divorced, which I never thought I'd be. And I'm this and that, and I got a lot to say. I'm freaking Dorothy. Take the remote control and turn it off. You go, what? I don't want to watch that no more. I thought I was this young, vibrant girl. How did that happen? I'm all grown up. Jeez Louise, and now I'm Dorothy. And my mom may not be Italian, but she's sassy. So I don't know if there's anything else I need to tell you. I think I'm probably good for today. I'd like to thank Marla for agreement that I'm going to come out and talk. I'd like to thank those of you that have been listening. You're Rose. Yeah, because you are Rose. You're definitely not. What's the other one's name? The one that's always got a new boyfriend or out flirting with people? I don't know their names. I haven't seen it enough. But I will say that the song is pretty good. Thank you for being a friend. Right? Good song. That was some of the scariest days. Blanche, thank you. Blanche. Some of the scariest days I've had. And probably some of the most profound days I've had. You know, when I went through my husband leaving, I thought those were the darkest days. And it's funny because I sat there and I lamented that for months. I just laid in the dark. I was telling Alice before, I just laid in the dark for like 5 months. I laid in the dark November, December, January, February, March. And then in April, I decided to emerge, right? Laid in the dark, made a couple of videos. And again, go back to Stephanie. Stephanie remembers the videos. I used to make videos in my bathrobe. I felt an obligation to serve, but not to get dressed. Okay. And if anybody wants to watch any of those old videos, they're over on YouTube under Figuratively Naked. Just search for Diane Hochman, Figuratively Naked. There's one that's so bad. I went to turn on the camera to do a video and realized I hadn't taken my makeup off the night before. It was probably like 3:00 in the afternoon, and I'm in my robe and pajamas, and I had like, raccoon eyes, and it's called Raccoon Eyes, I think, the video. But I just sat in the dark for 5 months, and they were very dark days. And you know what? I got out of the hospital, and it's a miracle that I got out of the hospital so fast. And I came home. I even got off the oxygen. The doctor's like, how the hell did you do that? They were ready to tube me, and I walked out the door, on my own 2 feet. But I'll tell you one thing. I wasn't going to lay around for 5 months after the hospital and that time. And the reason why is because I don't got 5 months to waste. Now, maybe you're younger and maybe you don't realize the value of the time yet. Maybe you don't realize that the clock is ticking. And I don't mean to sound like gloom and doom, but I understand it. I get it. And again, I'm thinking of my friend David. None of us knows what tomorrow is. I didn't when I couldn't breathe. So I didn't have 5 months to lay around. And why did I lay around? Because I felt sorry for myself. And I needed to sit for 5 months in the dark, binge eating, binge drinking, binge watching the Gilmore Girls, seasons 1 through 7, multiple times to beat the living crap out of myself and to hate myself and blame myself. I don't got time to do that no more. I went to an event and I hugged someone. And I don't know who it was that brought it into the room, or maybe it was multiple people. Maybe it was you know, a storm. I don't know. But hell, maybe I got it on the plane and I brought it into the room for all we know. I don't know. But what I knew is that I didn't have time to sit around and boo hoo hoo and suck my thumb and watch the Golden Girls. I needed to get up and go to work. And the work wasn't on my business. The work was on me. Because guess what? When you take care of yourself and love yourself and work on yourself, the money shows up. Had a good couple weeks, actually. So I just looked up and I realized I've been talking for 36 freaking minutes. Girl, as Ray would say, boy, you can talk. But I let it out, and I don't care if anybody sees it. Maybe I'll delete it in a little bit, but it feels good to let it go. So I love you guys. Tomorrow I'm out at my mom and dad's for their anniversary. I'll probably pop on and do a live because I promised I would, but it won't be anything long like this. And then Sunday, I am unofficially starting the skills clinics. I'm going to put one up for those that have access so far, and we'll be announcing access to everybody else. For those of you that are interested in hearing about the skills clinics I have coming up, which are dojos, places to practice your skills. You've had enough training. I can give you some training. I can tell you where to go learn the thing, but you got to practice. You got to practice. You got to practice. You got to practice. You got to hone those skills in an environment that encourages you and that loves on you. Hi, Alice. Hey, Judy. Love you too, Judy. That is what I'm doing. That's what I'm up to. And I have a group that already has access to those that are coming up, and then we'll open that up to the public. So stay tuned. Make sure you're on the list at DianeHockman.com so that you hear about those. If you have learned how to do something, but you can't do it competently, if you can't talk to people, write emails, set up your autoresponder, create a capture page, post on Facebook in ways that get you interaction, enroll people properly. Think about every skill that you need to be utilizing. If you are not competent in the skill, you need a skills clinic. You need to tell me what we need a skills clinic on. We'll put it up. It'll be a small group, less than 15 people, where we're going to work together and get it done. All right, guys, I'm going to run. I love you guys. Thanks for listening and love you guys.